Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Escorts Limited Q3 FY15 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Raghavendra Jaipuria from Perfect Relations. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Karuna. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Escorts Limited Q3 FY15 results conference call. Please note that Mr. Sridhar will not be able to address the call today due to a medical emergency on the family front. For today's call, the management would be represented by Mr. Sameen Tandon, Chief Sales and Marketing, Escorts Agri Machinery, Mr. Sunil Saxena, CEO, Escorts Construction Equipment, Mr. Dipankar Ghosh, CEO, Escorts Auto and Railway Products, Mr. Bharat Madan, Group Financial Controller, Ms. Jyoti Khatuka, Head Treasury, and the Investor Relations team at Escorts Limited. We will start the call with a brief opening remarks from the management, followed by an interactive Q&A session. Before we start, I would like to add that some of the statements that we make in today's discussion will be forward-looking in nature. At this moment, I would request Mr. Bharat Madan to make his opening remarks.
Thank you, Raghavendra. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. Thank you for joining us on the third quarter earnings call for financial year 2015. A snapshot of company's quarterly performance is as follows. Turnover for the quarter has increased by 5.4% on quarter-on-quarter basis to rupees 1,046.4 crore. This is primarily due to increase in volumes, both tractor and construction equipment, as compared to Q2 FY15. Tractor volumes at 15,881 units sequentially up by 5.8% as against 15,013 last quarter, and correspondingly down by 16.6% against 19,047 last year. Construction volume at 801 sequentially up by 7.2% against 747 last quarter, and correspondingly also up by 8.7% as against 737 last year. The EBITDA sequentially up by 46.1% to rupees 49 crores against rupees 33.5 crores in last quarter, but it has gone down by 31.02% against 71 crores last year. The major reasons for the fall in profitability as compared to last year is lower tractor volumes. The company reported a PAT of rupees 35.68 crores as against post-VRS loss of rupees 7.85 crores in Q2. However, the profit was lower by 21% correspondingly. We continued to bring down our finance cost, which is lower by 12% compared to last year at rupees 13.7 crores. Our total debt outstanding as of December 2014 is rupees 451 crores. Now moving on to segmental business performance. Starting with the agri machinery business, domestic tractor industry volumes went down by 22% to 141,844 tractors as compared to 181,599 last year. This is primarily due to low crop yield coupled with the low crop prices. The wholesale price index remained flat and the food inflation touched zero value in Q3, which is lowest in the last 5 years. Our domestic tractor volumes also went down by 18% to 15,455 tractors. However, export volume went up by 91% to 426 tractors. The slower decline as compared to the industry has resulted in increase of our market share from 10.4% to 10.9%. We have been able to increase our market share in our strong regions as well as our weak regions. In line with our strategy to become market leader in higher HP segments, our tractor volumes in 50 plus HP grew by 55.6% as compared to last year. Our market share in this segment also grew from 5.9% to 9.1% in Q3. This segment also grew by 2% and therefore its share in the total industry has increased to 7% against 5% last year. Continuing with our strategy to offer innovative products, we have launched 2 new products, India's first anti-lift tractor ALT under PowerTrack brand and 4-wheel drive tractor under Farmtrac brand in Q3. The anti-lift tractor brings freedom from drudgery and life-threatening situations for the driver, while offering never-before value for money for our customers. ALT is having the first mover advantage in the medium haulage segment. In the long run, we plan to extend the current ALT range and bring new products for this growing segment. Farmtrac 4-wheel drive tractor, which is called FT6050 4-wheel drive, is a strategic step in the direction of becoming the technology leader in the customer's mind. The intent is to develop the 4-wheel drive segment in India and become the segment leader. In a nutshell, the pioneering models under the Formtrack and Powertrack brands are commanding an unmatched recognition due to superior and fulfilling performance in the markets. In the subsequent quarters, we are expecting to increase our market share with the help of new product launches. Escorts Agri Machinery also received the National Safety Award for the year 2014 from National Safety Council of India. This is the second consecutive year that we got this award. EBIT margins in Agri Machinery went down by 165 basis points to 7.8% against 9.4% last year, primarily due to low volumes, but it went up sequentially from 7.1%. We are on track in our projects in reducing material costs, and better margins are expected once the industry turns the corner. Now, coming to the construction equipment business, the overall construction equipment industry seems to be bottoming out. As per the ICMA, the total CE volume has gone down by 0.6% to 12,655 units in Q3 FY15 as compared to YTD FY15 drop of 11%. In the served industry segment, industry volume went down by 8.2% to 7,876 machines from 8,577 machines last year, whereas our volume went up by 9.3% to 776 against 710. Our total volumes manufactured and traded products combined went up by 8.7% to 801 machines in this quarter from 737 machines last year. In construction equipment, backhoe loaders and cranes have led the growth. Backhoe loaders grew by 20% year-on-year in an industry decline of 10%, while the cranes have grown by 16% much faster than the industry. Our backhoe loader Digmax 2 has been well established in the market, and we are climbing the ladder fast from number 6 to number 4 position in the backhoe loader segment. On the back of this increased volume, our revenues also increased by 8% to Rs 141.3 crores. In order to achieve break-even by Q4 FY15, we have made significant progress in the quarter gone by. We effected price increase across all product categories, achieved higher space sales, and increased our channel outreach. Correspondingly, positive swing of 82 basis points and sequentially positive swing of 769 basis points at EBIT level has been achieved. We have also started initiatives in the cost reduction and the material cost through VAVE initiative and product rationalization activities, which shall give result in the subsequent quarters. We are hopeful of achieving break-even by Q4 FY15. Now, coming to the railway division, revenues at Rs 39.1 crore, up correspondingly by 17.7% against Rs 33.2 crores last year, same quarter, and down sequentially by 17.4% against Rs 47.3 crores. The margin down by 731 basis points sequentially and 155 basis points correspondingly to 2.3%. It's down due to low sales and poor product mix. Our order book for this division stood at Rs 40 crores, which will get executed in the next 3 to 4 months. Given the government's focus on revitalizing the Indian Railway, we are very excited on the future outlook of this business. To capture the opportunity, our endeavor is to expand our product range either through in-house development or through technology partnerships. Bogie-mounted brake system called BMBS has successfully completed the trials, and we are awaiting the final approval from Research Design and Standards Organization. We have also got the developmental order for axle-mounted disc brakes recently, and we are working on the same. Lastly, the auto division achieved revenue of Rs 25.5 crores against Rs 29.5 crores last year and Rs 26.8 crores sequentially. We have achieved a positive swing of 1,342 basis points at EBIT level, and losses for the quarter halved to Rs 4.7 crores against Rs 9.4 crores last year. This is mainly due to the VRS done in Q2 and the other cost initiatives specifically aimed at increasing productivity and reducing losses in auto product division. With the focus to achieve break-even and profitability, we have kick-started a turnaround program with the help of a leading consultant. As against our expectation of achieving a break-even by as early as Q4 FY15, there is a likely delay of 3 to 6 months in achieving the same for this division. Now I request the moderator to open the floor for question and answer session.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Thank you. We have first question from the line of Basudev Banerjee from Antique Finance. Please go ahead.
Sir, thanks for taking the question. As you said that the last few months, because of lack of MSP hike at the ground level, overall food inflation has been on the lower side, and which in turn also impacting the tractor demand. But structurally speaking, down the line, if government is focusing more on productivity improvement rather than the MSP-led route, in the longer run, definitely it's a better alternative. So, from a tractor sales perspective, how do you see this transition process affecting tractor demand, and how long you expect this weaker demand on an absolute basis to sustain?
See, the MSP hasn't declined really. What has declined is the market prices. The government has not reduced any MSPs so far.
No, I didn't say decline. I said typically the exorbitant rates of hike that didn't happen.
Yeah. So the market prices for all commodities have been lower, and the reason of these commodity prices lower more are due to the global glut in the commodity prices, not only to India, because the food production over last 2 years globally has been quite high. So that is what has brought down the prices, and also the lower monsoons of the last year. These were the two major reasons where things have not gone in the favor of agriculture industry. Now, what we see is that the last 2 quarters have seen the significant downward trend, but going forward, it should start moderating, and maybe 2 more quarters you may see a sluggish growth or maybe not growth at all. But the second half of the next financial year, we could start seeing turnaround. Also, the fact remains that the last 2 quarters, if you really see, were on the base of very high growth in the previous year, in the same quarters. So that also would get moderated. And we feel that maybe in 6 months to 8 months' time, we should start seeing the tractor industry as well started growing.
And any specific pockets or states you are seeing the pain being on the higher side more than expected?
See, right now it is all over the place. Industry is lower. The southern markets are doing little better than the northern markets at this moment because of the monsoons were a little better off in south this time than what they had the impact in the northern and the western states.
And so last thing, as you said that because of the cost-cutting initiatives, you have improved your construction equipment margin by almost 770 basis points quarter on quarter. How much of this aspect is sustainable? Can we see ECL EBIT to be close to positive in the coming quarters, or one can expect it to go back to those minus 7% levels sooner than later again?
Yeah, this is Sunil Saxena here. I look after the EC division. Just to tell you, in fact, the note itself is pretty clear. One, just let me tell you, yes, it is sustainable. Second, most important is our products which were recently launched, like the Digmax 2, now have started gaining ground. And you can see that in the earth-moving segment per se, you would find that the largest segment happens to be backhoes. And there we are beating the market. The market is actually in a decline almost by 10%, whereas we are growing by 20%. So there is a big gain that is happening in backhoe for Escorts. The second thing is on the cranes also a similar feature is observed where the market is almost growing at about 5%. We are growing much better than the market. We are almost double that. So in terms of the prices realized, this has happened over a period of time, and with that, we haven't lost any market share or volume. In fact, we have gained. So to that extent, it gives us a confidence that this is a feature which will continue for times to come, and therefore, along with the fact that we are really attacking our raw material costs and other costs, we expect this benefit to continue and flow into the next few quarters.
Sure. And sir, any update on the divestment of the auto component division?
As of now, this is Dipankar. As of now, we are primarily focusing on restructuring the business to make it to black. And after 1 or 2 quarters, once we are profitable, then we would rethink about the divestiture.
Sure, sir. Thanks. That's all from my side.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all the participants in the conference, we would please request you to limit your questions up to 2 per participant. We move on to the next question. That's from the line of Arvind Sharma from Citigroup. Please go ahead.
Good morning, sir, and thank you for taking my questions. Sir, my first question would be on the tractor industry. How do you see your pricing scenario as of now, both for your company and industry-wise? Because with the volumes declining or the declining demand, as you noted, has there also been a slight bit of constraint in terms of pricing?
Yep, this is Sameer. The pricing is under pressure in the industry, but we have increased prices with effect of 1st of January this year to a tune of about 1.2%.
Okay.
The pricing increase is really basically being augmented by new product launches which we have done, and we feel that the markets where we were not present earlier, we are trying to get into those markets with this newer products which go into a specialized applications which we had not participated so far.
Okay. Sir, my second question would be on your gross margin. I see there's an improvement of around 40 pips quarter on quarter. So how much of this gross margin could be attributed to the softer commodity prices?
It's very little. There's not been really an inflation on the commodity, so there's not been really an pressure on material costs. So the improvement which you see on the margin front is one coming from the volume growth sequentially. So you see the tractor number also going up by about 6%, so the top line growth there. And second, from the cost initiative which we've done, and what we talked about in the construction business side, which is a turnaround which is happening. And the auto business also, where we cut down our losses by 50%, and basically because of the VRS which we did in the previous quarter. So I think all these factors have led to this improvement in the margin.
All right.
It's not really commodity.
Okay, so just one question, if I may squeeze through on your construction equipment business. I see that year on year the realizations have been almost flat. So is it a massive product mix change that we are seeing on an year basis? Are we correct in assuming that?
In fact, that is precisely what we have corrected in the months that have gone by. We have corrected the realization substantially for all our products.
Okay, so that is in order to gain better market share. Is that the reason?
No, correction of price is upward revision, and
I was talking about on year-on-year basis.
Yeah, year on year also we have increased both the volume, the market share, and also the price.
Okay, so then maybe it's more on the mix part that the blended realizations have almost remained flat.
Yeah, so that's basically the mix.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. That's all from my side.
Thank you. We have next question from the line of Aman Pirani from Deutsche Bank. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So my question was on the 50 HP plus segment. Can you just remind me what it is as a part of the industry based on 9 months or the quarter, whatever number you're comfortable giving?
Yep. So as far as the 50 plus segment is concerned, that's the segment in an industry decline as well is showing a growth so far. The total industry volume out of about say 600,000 tractors, which if you look at it for a year, which this year may turn out to be about 5.7 lakhs or 570,000.
Right.
It would be around in between 37 to 38,000 tractors would be this segment, which is 50 plus horsepower segment, where it is. And as far as Escorts is concerned, we have almost doubled our market share over previous year in this segment. So we were at around 4.5%, and we have come to about 9.7-10% now.
Which is quite commendable because it is almost equal to your overall market share. So in this segment, is there any specific players from whom you're gaining market share? I mean, in this segment, is the market structure different from for the overall market, or is it the same players who are 1, 2, 3, 4?
No, this market is actually in terms of market share is led by Sonalika,
okay,
and followed by Mahindra's. So if you really look at it, there are very close fight between two of them.
Okay.
And then the other players who are international players like John Deere and New Holland used to play as well, quite strong in these markets.
Yeah.
So if if you really see, our competition has been more in terms of with John Deere, because our pricing is very, very premium. Sonalika plays in the same segment at the bottom with a very low pricing. We play at a premium. So our competition here has been with John Deere, and we have seen that we have gained quite a bit on account of the new product launches which we have done in past 1.5 years.
Okay, fair enough. And so just on the overall pricing environment in the industry, I know you mentioned that you have raised prices, but are you seeing a similar trend from other players, or are you seeing an increase in discounting because of the low volumes, or do you feel that despite low volumes, market has been quite disciplined in terms of pricing?
See, the pricing, as far as the basic price increase has happened by both of us, the leaders, Mahindra also has increased the prices. And we as well have increased. So both of us have increased prices. But discounting in the market is bound to continue, because when the sentiments are lower, people would like to make up volumes some clipper. We have taken a very different stand for last almost 2 years on this. And what we are trying to bring in is, at the same time, trying to bring in products which offer more value to the customer, trying to bring in something which is different. Bharat spoke about it, that we have just brought in an anti-lift tractor, which is something very, very unique, which in industry had never happened earlier. So that would mean a little bit of a drop of our margin in that product, because that brings in a lot of new features, a lot of new things into it. But it doesn't bring in any price down. Yeah. So that's the way we are trying to approach the market, where we feel that we will not discount, but we will bring in propositions for the customer where he benefits a lot and gives us a unique category or a position.
Fair enough. And so just lastly, in the past we have seen that the usage of tractors for non-farm uses has been going up and down. How do you see that currently, and what is the outlook on that, given the government's thrust on a lot of infrastructure projects? Do you think that could increase in the coming 12 months, and would that support tractor volumes more than maybe agriculture would?
See, the commercial and the agri usage of the tractor is almost today, if you really see, 50-50%. In some segment it could be 40, some segment it could be 60, but it remains more or less very close to each other. Agriculture sentiments may take time to come up, but if infrastructure starts improving, of course the commercial usage will increase, and the tractors specifically in the little higher horsepower should increase. And at this side, we, as I already explained to you, we have a little better positioning today, where we are gaining in. I think should be a good news for us if that happens.
Okay, sir. That was very helpful, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We have next question from the line of Ajay Sethia from Centrum Broking. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Just had one question on how are the inventory levels on the overall industry side, and maybe for you?
So you're talking about tractors?
Yeah, tractor. I mean, the inventory situation for the industry and maybe for Escorts.
Yeah. So see, the inventory situations have been quite high in the industry for last maybe almost 6 months or so, because the industry crashed quite big time, and it was very big surprise since October when the industry started sliding. And the preparations was that the industry would remain or it would not decline so much. So the stocks have been higher. Most of the players in last few months have corrected stocks and have brought down. Our expectation is that it would be still the inventories in the market should be still around quite a bit, maybe 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe 6 to 8 weeks type inventories should be still around.
Okay, so you're saying 6 to 8 weeks, and how would that compare with the normal level of inventory?
It is usually 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks.
5 to 6 weeks. Okay, fine. That's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have next question from the line of Mitul Shah from Karvi Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Thank you for my question. Sir, I have a question on the market share. We gained market share in the tractor segment. So can you give, sir, which are the regions wherein we gained the shares?
Yeah. So we have gained share in some of our weaker markets as well this time. We have gained in states of Andhra Pradesh. We have gained in states of Gujarat and as well in states of Karnataka. These are the markets where we have gained. We have also sustained back our market share, which we had in states of Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh, where are both big markets. There is a slight upward movement there. Also a quite good gain in the markets of Punjab. So overall, small change at different places, but the largest gain is coming from Andhra Pradesh, which is our weaker markets, and as well from Punjab, which is our biggest market.
So in this market, any likely chance of this market share improving drastically over next 1 or 2 quarters?
We don't feel that drastic improvement in market share is possible at this moment. But we feel surely if the market starts turning around, we should start pocketing much better.
So my second question is on the RM by sales. This is despite we took price hike in the construction equipment as well as in the tractor side and decent volume coming from the construction side. And you also stated that commodity prices are more or less flat or decline. There is a sequential increase in the RM by sales. Any specific reason for that?
Yeah, Mitul, this is essentially coming because of product mix. Like you said, we launched new tractors in this quarter where the contributions are high, but in terms of percentage, they are down. So in the salary realization is much more. So that has led to this increase in this quarter. But going forward, we expect this material cost will actually come down. So like we discussed earlier, the cost initiative which we have taken on the material cost front, that will start bearing fruit from Q4 onwards. So you'll see the declining trend happening in FY16 definitely.
So any ballpark number on RM by sales for FY16?
Well, a lot depend on the product mix. It's difficult to say, but like you said, we're targeting at least 2% reduction on the material cost next year.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Sagar Karkhanis from Nirmal Bang. Please go ahead.
Thank you for this opportunity. Sir, I just want to understand as and when the demand revives, specifically for South India, what would be our strategy vis-a-vis what is our value proposition to the buyer to prefer Escorts tractor over Mahindra tractors, which is an already established player there?
Yeah, see, the South markets, if you really look at it, states of Maharashtra or Andhra Pradesh, are predominantly high horsepower markets. And as I have already explained, that in these markets or on these segments of higher horsepower, we have started establishing ourselves, and over a period of 1 year, we have doubled our market share. So our product positioning is right. We have products. And Bharat also briefed about that we have come in with a 4-wheel drive tractors, which also can do these applications much more efficiently. So these are the two, armories which we are trying to use in these weaker markets in the south. And as the market revives, we feel that should start giving a lot of benefit.
Great. And secondly, on this construction equipment, if you could throw some light on which geographical pockets that we are seeing have traction.
We have 2 products which are gaining grounds and where we operate, largely backhoe and the pick and carry. On both the products, we have good traction. Pick and carry, largely, in fact, the markets where the industry volume is not growing or rather coming down has been largely Rajasthan and Gujarat. Gujarat was good in the first quarter, but after that it has come down. But other than that, across the range on pick and carry cranes, we have gained. So it's not confined to one particular area. Market share wise, it is a gain across. On the backhoes, largely again the markets down south for the industry are not very good, and they are actually declining very sharply. And on a growth of market share, largely is coming from both the western market, the northern market, and also some portions in the eastern market.
Okay, thank you. That's it from my side. Good luck.
Thank you. We have next question from the line of Nishit Jalan from Nomura Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for taking my question. I have two questions. Firstly, you mentioned that you have taken a 1.2% price increase in Jan, and commodity prices also look benign. So do you think that margins can improve from current levels in subsequent quarters, or do you see discounting increasing further, which will in a way impact net realizations? And my second question is around when you say that industry outlook looks weak for the next 2 quarters. So what is your sense on the Rabi crop season? Have you seen sowing coming down for the Rabi crop as well?
But just to answer your first question on the inflation price increase front. See, this price increase which we do normally with a lag. So this inflation is something which has already happened in the earlier quarters, which we got passed on from the 1st of January. So January onwards, we don't see the inflation pressure to be there on the commodity side. So we don't expect any commodity inflation will happen in this quarter. But this increase which has been done is essentially to compensate for the material cost increases which has happened in the past. So we don't expect any significant margin improvement happening because of this exercise. So this basically to maintain the cost at the same level.
So if I may ask, what are the key costs which have gone up over the last, like, for which you have to take pricing increase, or is it just discounting going higher, that's why you have to take pricing increase?
No, the cost, like I said, the material cost, there has been increase in the castings and in the past, so which was a major impact which is coming, and the entire casting industry actually is in a downturn as of now because the auto industry going down. So that has been one thing which was under pressure where we had to pass on the price increases to the market. Because of that commodity price going up, so we had to actually pass it on to the consumers.
Okay. And on second, the Rabi crop thing?
Yeah. So the Rabi sowing, if you really see, has been more or less aligned with what normally happens. The wheat, which is the largest Rabi crop, sowing is down by about 1.5 to 2%. But the crop condition as of now looks very good, and we see that feel that the crop should be all right as we go further because the harvesting would happen in the April. We don't see much of an issue as of now.
So, sir, when you say that the crop looks good and the harvesting will happen in April, so do you see an upside risk to your estimate that there is a 2 more quarter of pain left? Because can we see some revival during the harvesting season of Rabi during April, May?
See, the harvest may improve a little bit of where it is. So that's what I said, that the decline today, which is on a tune of about 20-25% today, may start showing some revival, and you may have an year-on-year decline type of maybe 10%, 11%, or maybe 5%. But I don't see it moving very much up because the commodity pricing doesn't seem like moving up so high. And the food availability, if you really see, is quite good. So the grain storage with the government today in India or across the globe is quite strong.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Viraj Kacharia from Security Investment Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, most of my questions have been answered. Just 1 or 2 more. On the sub 25 HP, we earlier vacated from the segment and then we re-entered through outsourcing to a third party. Given the margins are relatively lower than what we usually earn in a 50 HP tractor, how do we see, on an overall margin basis, how do we see the role of sub 25 HP?
Yeah. So sub 25 HP is not a margin story at all. So I don't think when you sell a tractor for 2.25 lakhs, you expect a very big margins on that. It is about that this segment has been rising, and there is a huge segment of marginal farmers who today also may like to own a tractor. And that being the case, what this segment or the product where we have gone into brings in is more footfalls to our dealers, specifically in those areas where the land holdings are very, very small or marginal, where people would come in. And we expect that you can start up a relationship at a very lower value and bring that customers up as he progresses. So that's the addition which we are looking at. It's not a margin story at all.
Yeah, just 2 questions on that. So for us, on a relative basis, do we see sub 25 as a smaller role compared to our focus on, say, 50 HP and above? And do we have any plans to expand product portfolio in that segment?
Yeah. So above 50 horsepower remains the focus, and we want to do that because our goal is to be number one in that segment. So we would keep focusing on doing that. We would be supplementing more products as well in the sub 25 horsepower range, where some new products, more products will add in, where we would like to create some differentiation and look for an opportunity. How could we differentiate ourselves in there as well and create a position for ourselves?
Right. And again, those will be through the third party which we are manufacturing.
Sub 25 would always remain a third party production.
Okay, so in terms of pricing, it will be again on the same front as, say, what the Mahindra or the Sonalikas everyone usually sells. Is it?
Yeah, we would be competitive, but to be true to our brand, we will always have a premium over Sonalika and Mahindra is in that segment as well.
Okay, and this last question again on this segment itself, like if you were to see the trend over the last couple of years in the 22 HP segment, mostly all players have been vacating from that segment. Now, over the last 1 to 2 years, incrementally we're seeing all major players launching product in the 25 to 30 HP segment. So, is it that are we seeing some kind of preference towards 25 to 30 versus sub 25? What is driving that? And what, if you can just throw some color on that.
See, as the economy grows, the horticulture as well improves. And most of the tractors which you are saying about, which is 22 to 25 horsepower segment, are mostly the niche segment where the horticulturists are trying to buy these tractors. And this is the new segment which is coming up. In this segment, we also have an offering which is a very premium offering where we sell a Ferrari tractor which we bring in and we sell it in India, which is a very premium offering which we have tried to do it. So specifically for the orchards and vineyards, these are the thing which is coming up. And also when you have vegetables and other fruit orchards, this is the segment which is likely to grow. So we are also trying to participate there as well, both ways. One is on the top with a Ferrari brand and on the bottom side with an outsourced tractor as we just spoke.
Okay. And any update on the other agri equipments which you're planning to roll out?
No, we were restricting ourselves right now participating in the tractor market majorly. We have been working on crop solutions, but that is right now at a very, very nascent stage. Nothing to talk about right now on a business front there.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. We have next question from the line of Binay Singh from Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Actually, just a follow-up from a question earlier. When we compare our tractor usage between agri, which is farm, and non-farm, you gave the ratio as almost 50-50. But we get a very different ratio from different players. So could you just throw some light as to, some of your competitors talk about 80-20. So why is there so much of a divergence? Is this an Escorts-specific number that you're giving, or it's very difficult to ascertain non-farm usage in tractors?
I can't really talk about what others give the numbers. What we can tell you is the market is that way. Of course, the ownership of the tractor, if you really talk about, maybe in the ratio which you just said, which is 80-20. In the infrastructure or in the terms of commercial guys, buying tractors may be about 20%, but the usage of the tractor when you talk about, the owner remains the farmer who uses it as a machine to earn his income, and he lends that tractor into commercial usage. So the usage is much higher than the ownership in the commercial space. So it is the farmer who owns it and he uses it, but he uses more for commercial purposes. That's how we see the market.
Right. And then secondly, clearly it seems that one of the reasons why tractors are entering a slow cycle is because of weak crop prices. So when we look at the last 5-year growth of tractors, it has been significantly higher than the last 10-year CAGR, mainly because MSP hikes were very high globally, crop prices were trending up. Now, in your sense, do you think there's a chance that we would actually go into a very prolonged slowdown cycle if the commodity prices or the crop prices don't revive? Leaving that outside the equation, any other driver that you see which can lead the industry back to 15-20% growth?
See, I don't think the slowdown is for a long. It is very, very short. The reason being that the tractorization in India is still not too high. There are still a lot of regions in India, specifically eastern, some of the western markets as well, and the southern markets, where the tractorization is very, very low, and that has to pick up. So these regions will start contributing much rapid growth. Plus, as well, the labor shortage and the way it is not coming in for the farm will also drive mechanization upwards in the horsepower, and that's the reason we are seeing the higher horsepower also increasing. So both the ways, these are positive things to do. Now, if you look at the commodity pricing, yes, last 5 years have been very, very high, but the pricing today also on the commodity side, if you really see, is not very poor. It is more to do with that it had gone up too high and crashed down. But if you really see, profitability for a farmer per acre is not bad. If you look at it 3-4 years comparison, it's not still bad at these prices. So the prices are not that they have become very bad. In comparison, it has gone down drastically, and that brings down the sentiment, and that will stabilize, we feel, in 6 to 8 months' time.
And so just lastly, one question, like your wholesale volumes are down 17% for December quarter. Would you share some bit on the retail side, because you said that there's a lot of inventory clearance going on, but how will be the retail sales down for December quarter or so for you or for the industry?
See, when the industry is on a decline at this point of time, I don't see that anybody should be able to increase the inventories in the market, because I don't think channel has a capability to take further more anytime when the industry is declining. You can build stocks only when the industry is going up, not down. So I don't see that there would be much of a difference between the retail industry and the wholesale industry at this point of time.
And so lastly, could you comment a little bit on your capacity? What is your capacity now?
On the tractor business, our capacity is today 100,000 units a year. And the utilization level has in the range of 60-62%. So this quarter was slightly lower at 56% for tractors.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. We have next question from the line of Nishant Mas from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I just wanted to take forward the previous question, coming from the fact that the breakup, as you highlighted, between the industrial usage and farm usage, you were saying at 50-50. So if I say you take you back to say 2009-10 levels, what would be the breakup at that time in the industry?
See, it's been steadily going up for last decade or so. So I would say that in terms of commercial usage of tractor, a decade back would be maybe about 15-20%, about 20%. It has come to about in a decade to about 45 to 50%.
Okay, so sir, actually what I'm trying to take out of this question is that from that period, we've always seen tractor in cycles, say probably having 2 to 3 years of an upcycle and probably getting a dip year. And we probably this year has been a sudden surprise. Now, from a decadal perspective, would you think that the growth on a CAGR basis, obviously from the industrial side, would have probably higher double-digit usage basis, and the agri side would be probably mid-single digit? Now, going ahead, if you're at 50-50, what is your expectation from the industry from another, say, 3 to 5 year perspective of a growth, and could you break up between industrial and agri on that?
Yeah, so it's not really an industrial usage, it is more of a commercial usage.
Yeah, exactly, commercial usage, yeah.
And as I said that it's more a farmer buying a tractor and using it for commercial purposes, renting it out and using it on that. So for this industry, the sentiments of agriculture are very, very important, even if the market has to see revival both ways. Because if the sentiments are not higher, the farmer is not very positive. It's not like that he would start buying tractors for industrial usage, because he doesn't have a connect. He uses it and he buys it and he uses it. So I think that as it starts using it, more impact you could see when you use more for commercial purposes. You would see an impact on the segment-wise, where the higher horsepower segment starts improving faster than the lower horsepower.
But from an industry growth perspective, what would you think is the number? Because from, say, 2009-10, I do a CAGR, we were around 7%. Do you think we could be same or we could be lower?
I think on a CAGR basis, we should expect 7-8% in growth still.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. It's a reminder to all the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on their touchtone telephone. We have next question from the line of Prashant Biyani from SBI Securities. Please go ahead.
In last quarter, we have not passed on full cost on certain new tractors that we had launched. So has that cost been passed on fully now?
Not yet. Some part is still left. So I think we are waiting for the industry revival to happen when we'll be able to fully pass on to the consumers.
And how has been the response for the new tractors that we have launched?
So far we have seen the response has been very good. We have been seeing a quite good movement upwards on the tractors there. But the market sentiments are lower, so the volume numbers we'll start seeing and big numbers picking up only when the market sentiments revives.
And by when are we going to have a proper distribution setup in the southern and western parts of India?
So we have started doing it specifically. The way we looked at it in the southern part, we wanted first what setup we have to make it profitable and to be able to stand up, and that creates a model type of place where people start doing it, and then we start attracting more talent or more people around there and go for a very strong channel network. We have started adding up, and I see in a period of a year or so, we should start seeing the market share moving up a little better pace than what it is today.
But any timeline as to by when we can have the proper setup means in every major market?
So we have, as I said that in places like Gujarat and AP, we have moved our market share already by almost 1% in these places. We have added up. So next year is a year where we are going to put a big thrust on getting better representation in most of these geographies.
And regarding the auto ancillary segment, we have seen a pickup in the automobile industry, but our segment revenues are showing no signs of recovery. So any thoughts on that?
Yes, as I said that, in the previous question out there, we are primarily focusing on actually restructuring a portfolio because since the focus is to become black first and then introduce products, while we are restructuring some of the loss-making products, we are also working on contribution improvement on the products which are already there with some of our OEMs and particularly the export segment and the aftermarkets.
What would be the new products that we are planning and some products that we are trying to shed?
The new products, basically what we are planning are in the same, particularly some the segments like in the defense and also in the European aftermarkets. While some of the products what we are trying to shed is products which we don't see much of a margin because of the low volumes.
Okay, that's it from my side.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Ashutosh Tiwari from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello, sir. Regarding this construction equipment segment, you said that you're gaining market share in the backhoes and the cranes. So these backhoes are basically mainly used, whatever you supply is mainly used in construction equipment, or it is used in the mining segment?
No, they're largely used in earth moving per se. So it's valid both for construction and let's say some amount of highways where things can get built. So a lot of earth carriage happens.
Okay, so it's not so much into the mining machinery basically, the coal mines and all.
Mining is largely the wheel loaders and the excavators where you can see there is a good traction in this year. It's just about started.
Okay. So you are not present over there, you are mainly present into this construction equipment.
Yeah, we are present in material handling and in earth moving there are several products, but we are present in backhoes per se.
Okay. And regarding the cranes, are they used in mining as well? What you supply?
They are used in open mines, for example, stone quarries and things of those nature. They are not used in hardcore mines per se.
Okay, but so what is tonnage, in which tonnage range you mainly supply?
We are in the low tonnage up to 20 tons.
Okay. And regarding this tractor industry, I mean, in which states you see more pain currently? I mean, for industry as such, definitely it's down throughout, but yeah, which states you're seeing more pain of recently?
You see more pain currently.
Yeah, so the markets in Rajasthan and MP and Haryana, these are the three states which have been degrowing much higher than the other parts. So like MP for the last 2.5, 3 months has been degrowing by almost 50%.
Okay, and what would be the main reason behind, I mean, this decline which you're seeing in MP?
See, MP, Rajasthan, both of these places are hugely rain-fed. The monsoon sentiments were bad since the time of monsoon. Also, they are very soya-dominated states where the soya is a very big cash crop. And soya has fully damaged in last 2 times in these places. Twice it has got damaged. So that has brought down the industry sentiment quite a bit there.
Okay. And what about UP? I mean, how is the market? Because I think sugarcane prices are also down over last year. So how is that market doing?
UP also is degrowing, but it is not at the same pace as other markets. UP is becoming little more mature-ish market. It doesn't show a very high growth and it doesn't show a very high degrowth as well. But of course, it is also degrowing, but not at the same pace as other of these bigger markets.
Okay. And what about Karnataka and AP you mentioned is probably doing well for you, but how is the market in AP and what's the market in Karnataka particularly?
Yeah. So AP, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu markets in last 2 months we have seen they have grown. They have grown a little bit. But AP has been also degrowing, but at a lesser pace than other markets. So AP degrowth has been a story of about 15 to 16%, which has started degrowing now in last 1 quarter. But we feel that AP should start seeing revival quicker than other places.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor and Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for taking my question. Hello?
Yeah, please.
What have been our net debt level as on December?
It's 451 crores.
451
crores.
Including the working capital?
Yeah, including working capital.
What is the working capital then, sir, if you could specify the...
254 crores.
254 crores. And what is our repayment due as on March, if any?
We have term loan repayment of 65 odd crore, 60 to 65 odd crore in next year.
And that means for FY 15-16.
That's right.
15-16, yes.
Sir, South India particularly, we are not very dominant and we have been trying over the years to gain some market share. How have the working been in South India? Because you in the earlier commentary has also mentioned how the gain that is coming in the tractor industry is from South India. So what is our current market share vis-a-vis last year? How have we performed in South India?
Yeah. So again, I will reiterate. We have launched in period of last 1.5 years lot of products which were specifically suited for the South. We have tried to bring in more value for those customers there to try to change the way they have been practicing as well. So there is a lot of focus which we have put on. As I said, in markets of Andhra Pradesh, we have moved a market share by about 1%. And in states of Karnataka, we have moved it by about 0.5%, by about 0.5% is what we have moved up in these places. And we have tried to provide solutions to customers here in terms of, like Andhra Pradesh is mostly paddy belt, try to give them very specific solutions on paddy and trying to build in on that there. And in Karnataka, it has been more to do with, they have orchards of arak nut and all those things, so we have tried to build it on that platform there, where we have tried to bring in products which give us premium, and as well we start growing up and expanding from there.
My last question to sir regarding your construction equipment part. So what actually lead to this lower EBITDA this time? Because if you take the turnover part, although the turnover has improved, but it is the negative EBITDA lowering that has actually contributed to the number? And how are we looking forward also in the coming quarters to improve on that?
As I mentioned in my statement, there are 3-4 reasons what we've done. We've taken a price increase across categories and in the construction equipment business. And there's also the increase in the spare parts sale which has happened in this quarter, which we're trying to sustain going forward as well. And we also increase our channel in terms of total number of dealers, outlets where we're getting present. So these measures we expect, besides the cost initiative which we've taken along with the consulting firm, which is actually helping us in turning around this business. So we expect these margins are sustainable, and going forward we expect to be in black on this.
So this trend have continued for January and January month also?
That's right. In fact, Jan has been much better than the last quarter.
It has been much better than the last quarter, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. And all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have next question from the line of Samir Deshpande from Fairdeal Investments. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Samir.
The results have been fairly better compared to the overall situation in the tractor industry. But I would like to know one or two things. In the tractor sales, do you see the trend improving if the interest costs are lowered aggressively as expected over the next 6 months because of the lower food inflation as well as the industrial and commodity oil prices, etc.? So what is the correlation? Because I think 80% of the tractors are sold on loan. So if the interest costs come down by about half or 1%, do you see any betterment in the sentiment?
See, the interest costs, the interest in tractor loan are very, very high already. Yes. And so it really doesn't make too much of a difference, if you really ask me. Because at the time the farmer gets a loan, the interest rates applicable to him are from 18 to 24%, which remains very, very high. So I don't think the lowering of interest cost would make too much of a difference. But yes, the liquidity improvement may make a more difference if there is a little bit better cash flows, and specifically in the rural markets.
And second question is for construction equipment, Mr. Saxena. Yes. As you mentioned, you have increased the prices. Have you increased the prices of backhoes or cranes?
Both.
All product categories.
Since
all
January?
product categories.
But it is from January onwards?
No, it was in the last quarter, beginning of the quarter.
So, but in this Q4, do we expect to be positive on the net level also in construction equipment segment level?
Yeah, so like you said, we're expecting EBIT should be positive. The volumes we're expecting will happen. So we're expecting it to be in black.
So you will be marginally positive on the construction equipment side in this quarter, expected.
That's right.
And do you see real improvement on the ground level demand or for roads and construction? Or the
Yeah, if you really look at the construction equipment, rather the earth moving and construction, there are several categories. The earth moving consists of things like backhoe loaders, excavators, loaders, things of those nature. Whereas material handling is largely the cranes. You also have the road construction and material processing. So, like when there was a sand mine ban, some of these equipments like material processing, which is screens and static crushers and wheel crushers, they have started to look at growth. Also, some amount of traction on the road building has just about started to happen. So you see a growth in areas like compactors and on excavators and loaders, largely because of coal. Also there has been a change. So what you see is there is a partial revival of some of the product categories, not across. So for example, the backhoe continues, which is a general purpose machine, I would say. It continues to have a 16% kind of decline, in fact 20% until now. So some segments, depending on what is moving in infrastructure, are showing improvement. I wouldn't say dramatic growth, but some amount of growth. And particularly for the third quarter, what we find is equipments like loaders and excavators are showing some amount of traction.
And our market share has improved to around 5% also in backhoes?
No, our market share has improved. We are not very high on market share. Out of the 10 players, we are now, we used to be about 6th position. We are now jumped up to 4th position.
And I wanted to know what is the net debt, because cash and cash equivalents on 30th September were 517 crores. If you take the short-term loans and advances and cash equivalent together, and our debt is mentioned to be around 450 crores. So our net debt is, what is the figure of net debt?
No, the short-term loans and advances are normal in the normal course of business. So these, you can't count it as a cash. But yes, there's been cash equivalent of close to 250 crores. So if you look at net debt, it can be close to 200 odd crores.
It is 200 odd crores. And anything on the railway front? Because this time there is a big fall in profits.
Yeah, actually, railway has a lag effect. In the Q2, there was some major tender not being finalized, so that way the order booking was low. So that way Q3 we had a drop in top line, and consequently the profits were down. But Q3 we again see a huge the huge order booking. So the Q4 we expect to be pretty good and with good margins also.
Normally, that is the quarter. Last quarter is always better for this construction and overall infrastructure also. So it should be better for railways also.
Railways, usually the Q3 is always better. This time the Q3 was not good because the Q2 there was a lot of confusion about railway board being restructured and all the stuff. So there were no major tenders, wagon tenders, and everything was not finalized. So we did not see a good Q3. But as I said, Q3 order booking was very good. So we hope that Q4 would be very good for us.
And the profitability will be better? Because
yes, the profitability should be better.
Okay. All the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you. As there are no further questions from the participants, I would now like to hand over the floor back to Mr. Raghvendra Jaipuria. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Dear participants, please note that those who have queries with regards to the Agri Machinery Division and would like to interact with Mr. Sridhar can write into us, and we'll be happy to arrange a call for everyone early next week. The date and time will be communicated to you from the Investor Relations team at Escorts Limited or by me. Now I would like to hand over to Mr. Bharat Madan for his closing remarks.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being present on this call. I would like to mention that we distribute our earnings release to our website www.escortsgroup.com. So do refer to our website for our earnings releases as well as other details, and this transcript will be available on our website after some time. Also, you can visit our social media pages for the latest company news, development, etc. We'll meet again in the beginning of new fiscal. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Escorts Limited, that concludes this conference call. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your line.